Hello, this is Tom Cloud with this week's Precious Metals Market Update. It is Wednesday morning, November 9th, and we have a new president-elect. And I've never seen, we have calls backed up starting at 2 a.m. this morning on our recorder. People staying up and calling, and I've just finished returning quite a few calls before I even filmed this. But anyway, while it's a very exciting time for our country, even ones that don't want change, it's time to move, and things are going to be different. What I'm going to try to do today is just point out some things from 40 years experience going through this and watching elections, as well as looking at potentials for the market that I deal in and day out for 40 years. Let me start by saying the government under Obama's leadership killed more jobs in 8 years than's ever been killed in 40 years. We got 90 million people out there underemployed or unemployed. Most of them don't even count on the unemployment. When the government tells you we got 4.9, it's really like 15 to 18. And certainly you can go to John Williams' website and subscribe to that, and you can see exactly what the real unemployment figures are. So what you got to visualize Trump's presidency from the standpoint of investments is, if you look at the Titanic trying to go across the ocean and trying to turn back, how long and how hard it takes to turn something around like that, and this economy is going to be no different. And to look at it, and you see Obama go through and run up in 8 years $10 trillion of debt, more than every president from George Washington through George W. Bush in 8 years. It was astounding, unbelievable, devaluing to our currency. But what you're going to see now is more of the same. You may like better what Trump is doing with the money. He's going out to strengthen the military. He's going to make the VA stronger. He's going to put up new employees on the borders. He's going to put a new vetting industry there to vet people coming into our country from terroristic states. So you look at all this, and these things are not free. Are they better for us long term? Absolutely. But meanwhile, what happens to it, and as I've said many times over many years, a lot of people like to look at trends and look at things. The thing that I've always kept my eye on that's been the most accurate indicator to me is the dollar. Where's the dollar? For instance, from 2000 to 2012, the dollar went from 126 on the world stage all the way down to 72 in 2000. If you go and divide that 700% in something gain by the 57% the dollar went down over that 12-year period, gold went up 11.5, 11.7%. Per 1% the dollar went down. Now we can fast forward, it's 2016. All the talk this year, the stock market's done nothing. It's just barely even. And yet gold's up 23%, silver's up 37%, but I want to talk about gold. So if you look at what the dollar's done this year, it's dropped exactly 2%. How much is gold up? 22%, 11% a year, right on focus. So now the next thing you do is you have what has been the leading indicator. Even though it's still a maze, investments are a maze. And thank goodness y'all have Jerry to lead you. You subscribe to his services. He's got red lights, yellow lights, and green lights for investments. And you need to be looking at that and subscribing to that, because these things change. He has a currency, which is very important, like I'm telling you. But let's look at it. We've recently seen Bo Pony, one of the top forecasters in the world, come out and say, in addition to gold and silver going up, the dollar's going down. Well, most people look at that as a diversion, that they're saying there's two different issues. It's not. It ties together. So let's say that Bo and other top forecasters predict the dollar's going down next year between 3 and 10%. And even with Trump's presidency, that's not going to change. We're still printing money. We're still having trouble selling our debt. We're still having the Fed to have to buy our debt because people don't want to keep buying our debt. China and Japan alone have $2.5 trillion of our $20 trillion of debt. But it's still mostly owned by U.S. Pension and profit sharing plans and money markets and individuals. And they're looking at alternatives because why you want to sit there knowing something's going to go down 3 to 10% according to people that have great track records. So if that is correct and the dollar goes down 5% next year, you can expect gold to go up 50%, which then puts it at 1950, looking at 1300 to where it is today. I do not know of a place to have more percentage of my money than gold, period. People say, well, stocks are going to rise under Trump. Show me how they're going to do that over the near term. To go in and give corporate tax rates and move them from 35% to 15% for corporations and get the personal tax rates level to whatever they're going to be, you're going to have bigger deficits to start with. In Obama's last budget here, I'm looking at Social Security was 24% of the budget, Medicare 25%, safety issues 10%, and the defense 16%. And that did not include closing down any of the problems. It didn't include any of that and people's salary in the government. So you're going to be looking at trillion-dollar deficits under Trump, in my opinion, for at least the first 2 years and maybe longer as he tries to turn this huge ship around in the middle of the ocean and get it going a different direction from where it's been going. So you've got to look at this excitement long term, but to me, personally, the appointments of the Supreme Court are more important to me as I have 2 children and 4 grandchildren ranging in age from 9 to 16. And, you know, what kind of debt are we leaving our grandchildren to pay off in the future? And people, it's not going to be pretty because my age group, the baby boomers, are retiring in record numbers. And now we see that running up to cover Medicare because there's not enough coming in the other end. So we've got problems. We've got major problems. But I honestly can tell you, gold is the first answer. You've never heard me say this aggressively. Gold is the most important investment in your assets with no questions whatsoever, no argument, because you can't prove it on paper. Stock market over the last 16 years has gone up 60% total, while gold's gone up 525%, including the drop of over 30% over the years 2013, 14, and 15. So you need to get in position to take advantage of the dollar going down, because it will go down for a while till this thing's turned around. If you're interested in a self-directed precious metals IRA, we can help you set that up by helping you get the custodian work and point you to one of the 2 best custodians that we have found. I can function as your broker and representative, but I can't function as the custodian. So if you'll give us a ring at 800-247-2812, we can walk you through that, how to do that. And people, if you're still out there holding rare coins, you need to get into physical gold bullion that goes up or down based on the spot price, not any kind of collector. We're not moving into a collector era. We're going to continue to see rare coins liquidate. And once again, while gold's gone up 525%, the rare coin index hasn't even doubled over the last 16 years. So you need to get ready for this and get moved over to it. So hopefully we brought some new things to you this morning, what to look at. You need to subscribe to Jerry's and because you're going to be walking through a financial maze that's going to have toss and turns and forks in the road, and you're going to need help with that while you're busy doing what you do well, making a living. So hopefully you can do that. If you need to reach us, you can reach us at 800-247-2812. That's 800-247-2812. And we'll have a lot of, every week we'll have new updates for you. And if you haven't subscribed to our blast, you can do that through Jerry's website as you're listening to this. So hopefully we brought some new information, and hopefully we do have a positive change for this country. Certainly when one candidate spends over $2 billion and spends over, I think it was 3 or 4 times or even more, to see the people talk and ready for a change in direction, because what we've had the last 8 years has been a disaster, and even Bush before him ran up monster deficits compared to the past. So anyway, let's pray for President-elect Trump. Even if you don't back him, we need to pray for him. And the stamina this man has is incredible, and we need to pray that he keeps that stamina going and can help this country get back to where we were once. With this week's Precious Metals Market Update, this is Tom Cloud signing out.